Good evening. It is Tuesday, April 18th, and I call the Local Board of Appeal and Equalization to order. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Looking for a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
So moved.
Moved by DeLuca.
Second.
Second by Fay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item of business this evening is the Board of Appeal and Equalization, and I will turn that over to our representatives from the county.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am Jason Veit, Hennepin County Residential Appraiser. Also with us is David Thompson, the Commercial Appraiser. So I'm going to quickly go just through the overview. I believe all of you did receive the sales book, correct? Perfect.
Yes.
So basically for the 2023 assessment, taxes payable 2024, our sales study period is from October 21 through September 22. Through those months, we had 11 single-family home sales. And then last year, we did 185 quintile reviews. 43 we were able to get in or have verbal reviews. And then 15 new construction reviews, which are those houses that took out some type of a permit. Based on our sales analysis and our market study, property values saw the following increases and decreases. For the residential, we saw an increase of 2.9%. Duplex, triplex, increase of 2.8. Apartment, 4.0. Commercial, increase 13.5. And industrial saw an increase of 53.3%. During the 10-day window, we had one call within that 10-day window, which was a commercial property, and Dave will now chat about that.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay. Jim Shear called regarding PID number 25118-2422-0111, address 1570 Hallgren Road. I had conversation with him. I was familiar with the building. The original value was $450,000, and I am recommending a reduction to $365,000 based on my review of that property. The owner, the appellant, is in agreement with this reduction.
What caused you to make that reduction?
It's a very unique property. I don't know, are you familiar with the property? Very hard to value because of the restrictions placed on it. Once I took a little closer dive into it, I was able to find, my best analysis would be kind of as a seasonal storage facility. Based on the uses, I believe the CUP said you can have people coming in seasonally. I was able to find a warehouse with some rents that were close to, I guess, similar in use to what that property could be used for. So with that in mind and taking into account some vacancy issues as well, it just kind of necessitated a reduction.
I don't see any new improvement numbers in the tax statements for 22 or 23. Did you physically go into the building?
On that particular building?
The one we're talking about.
I believe there was a new improvement
They put up a new fence.
No,
on that.
there was
Yeah, he did some
interior work
office
done.
renovations. Yeah, I think there was that might have been on last year. I would have to check on that. But but there was some improvement value on that property. And I can verify that, which year it was. But I do know that that office was renovated.
You made a comment too when you were going over your reasoning that you said, and you included some vacancy issues that he had. Why would a vacancy that he has in a tenant make a difference on the valuation of his property?
Because of the rents collected, the income generated. Because it wouldn't be really viewed as a typical, if, for instance, if you wanted to compare this to, let's say, a mini storage building, we have a typical rental rate. Either you would go by a per square foot basis, or you could value it by the per unit basis. But either way, there's a vacancy issue there that needs to be accounted for. Comparing this property specifically against a mini storage, which although similar, very different because of what you can see. A mini storage would be more short term, where it's month to month. So for that reason, you're going to get higher rents, and your vacancy would be different. And so when you're trying to compare this to a property, it really doesn't fit into any bucket because of the uses. It can't be used for this, it can't be used for that. So it just became try valuing it this way, doing this and this, and it seemed like, no matter how I approached the problem, it came up to be right around that $365,000.
So last year you were at 315, and this year it went to 450. Was that done through a mass appraisal system? So the computer just spit out the new equation without taking into consideration its uniqueness?
That would have been done by me. Unfortunately, Hennepin County's commercial industrial properties are valued individually. We don't have the luxury of mass appraisal. But what happens is sometimes if I'm looking at properties, I may overstate things, I may miss things. So in this case, it was just something I had overlooked and required a little deeper dive, because certainly this property could be worth substantially more, with different uses, allowable uses. So.
Is there a difference between commercial and industrial, or are they?
Not in the in tax rate per se.
Thank you. Any other questions for Jason or Dave? Councilmember Fay.
Jason, I do have one question for you, unrelated to this. You said in your, I think you referred to it as a quintile, 20%?
Yes. Yes.
And I think in that quintile was 160, and you got into 40, which is 25% of the quintile. So 25% of 20% is 5%. Is that an acceptable number of homes to physically get into?
That is the norm, basically. Actually, the percent of us getting in, actually physically getting into houses, is declining, decreasing every year. A lot of people want us to call ahead of time. We can't. We don't have phone numbers, for one. Two, usually we're strangers to them, they're strangers to us. You don't really want a stranger in your house for that long a time. So we get more, I feel, more verbal, where we're standing right outside the door and they say, well, I don't want you in my house. I give them the option of, can I have a couple minutes to just verbally go through the house with them? So I get more verbals than I do interior, especially out in a different area that I'm doing. But yeah, the value, or the percent, is continuing to go down.
Doesn't state statute dictate, though, that you physically get into 20%?
Well, we have to physically review you can't, I don't think you can really put you have to get in, because
Okay,
it's up to the homeowner to allow us in.
I understand.
Just because we work for the assessor's office doesn't mean, oh, yep, come on in.
No, I know we had this discussion when you were.
Show your
We
badge.
did, you remember that?
We're back to that, and I just seen I just feel it's a really low.
It is a
bar.
very low number, and it's making, we're kind of going, I know there are some areas throughout Hennepin where we are sending out surveys to the homeowners, where they can fill out some data and send, and we're getting, I don't know, but then that takes away the physical going out to the properties. However, there are, most cities, we do go out physically and we update our photos. We spot check measurements on the outside, and we do the best we can at getting the interior data.
Okay.
I know if houses are listed, we do have some of our MLS. We have access to that, so we can get some of that data from there. But that's why we stress when people do call during the evaluation notice time, we have to set up interior reviews. But yes, that number, going back to your question, that number is kind of dwindling.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then I'm looking for a motion to open the public hearing.
Um,
Oops, sorry, did I do
Could
that
you,
wrong date?
could you please make a motion to vote on the
Oh,
the
sorry.
revised value?
Yes, let me go back to that first. All right, there was a motion for the revised value at 1570 Hallgren Road from 450 to 365. So I'm looking for a motion to either accept that.
So moved.
Moved by DeLuca,
Second.
second by Francis. Any further discussion? All in favor of accepting the revised value at 1570 Hallgren Road for $365,000, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Now we're ready for the public hearing. All right. Looking for a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Burek,
Second?
second by John Fay, Councilmember Fay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, public hearing is open at 7:12. Anyone for the public hearing? Anyone? Anyone?
Yeah, I can kind of speak. I spoke with Mardell out in the
Okay.
hall. I think it's more of a homestead, non-homestead issue. She resides in the co-ops here, and the person who assesses that, I'll pass her information along to him, and he will contact her hopefully tomorrow or within the next day or so and kind of go over things. As far as a value, is there really a value question on your property at all?
Not really a value, no. I can't figure out why one unit is high when it's so small than some of them that are bigger. But it's not mine. It's not my unit. I'm trying to get you more taxes.
Thank you, Mardell.
There are several that
I've
are
never-
not valued homestead that should be non-homestead. So we'll get it straightened out.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention, and it sounds like the county is aware of it, and we'll look into it. But
Yes.
at this time, there's nothing you need from the board.
No.
More, it's just a point of information.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Anyone else to speak for the public hearing? Anyone else for the public hearing? Okay. Hearing none, looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Francis,
Second.
second by Councilmember DeLuca. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it 5-0. All right, so that is it for that. I'd like to thank Councilmember Fay and Councilmember DeLuca, who are both trained, as we need to have trained members to offer this meeting, so thank you both for doing that, and thank you to the county, and especially Jason and Dave for being here tonight. Any other business to come before the council? Hearing none, looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Councilmember Fay,
I'll second it.
Councilmember Burek seconds it. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting's adjourned at 7:15.